How we doing? I am your host, Robert T. Gardner Jr., also known as Dr. Rob. Welcome to Station BOB, and let me tell you a little about thee. I am a kid from a Harlem hood who turned out good. I got educated like I should. Now I know how to help you grow to become the best of your being in life, love, and work. With that said, I am here to provide you with some clarity associated with the perplexity of the challenges in your life, love, and work. So, without further ado, let's get down on it. Enjoy the show. Yes. How you doing once again, my friend? Welcome to Station BOB, where you listen to learn how to become the best of your being in life, love, and work. And of course, I am your host, Dr. Rob. What is going on? Now, I know I haven't been on the podcast mic as much as I would like. I'm just finding myself involved in so many good things that sometimes it's hard to get back to the mic. But I want to stay on the podcast mic for as long as I live and as long as I am able to do so. Okay? Right now, it's just somewhat of a challenge, but I will never forget you and thank you and just appreciating you for downloading my podcast once again, my friend. And so how we doing today? All right. I was about to say something and the thought escaped me, but I just wanted to say, I know what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that I love podcasting. I love trying to bring you life, awakening, life-changing discussions, awareness, and all of those things. But sometimes I'm flirting with the idea of, changing my genre, if you will, from this life, love, and work thing to more of, what's happening in life, not necessarily politically, but it would include politics. But more so it's like, what's happening, just my take on what's happening and how things should be as opposed to the way they are. But nevertheless, until I get to that point, I'm going to stay on this point and talk to you about becoming the best of your being in life, love, and work. And on that note, I have a great topic for you today. Just speaking to that, becoming the best of your being. This topic, the podcast topic for today is do not give people power over your life. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Do not give people power over your life. Now, you might say, what do you mean by that, Dr. Rob? Do not give people power over your life. Well, my answer to that is you might find yourself in a social setting at work, school, or church, or wherever you might be. Now, for me, just a little history with this whole idea of this not giving people power over your life. This came into being for me, at work. A long time ago, I used to work at the New York City Department of Correction. And that's when I started to notice it, although it probably was happening on other jobs. But I don't know what it was. I didn't notice it then. But anyway, well, while learning about how people, at work, they seem to let you know that they do not like you without saying it out loud. Now, you might say, well, if they're not saying it, then how you going to say that they don't like you? You know you know when somebody doesn't like you. They don't have to say it. And what happens is they don't say it. They show it. They demonstrate it. And they say that action speaks louder than words. So that's where I'm at with this. Based on people's actions, that's where I could come away with saying that you feel it, you know it. And so, in the meantime, when I worked for the New York City Department of Correction, I began to see that people who worked in the same department as I did and even sat in meetings with me as well. Then when I would walk the halls, say on the way to the bathroom or another destination within the confines of the workspace, these same people would walk by me as if they had never seen me before. But even if you never seen me before, we're working for the same organization, you might want to say hello. You feel me? Now, you might say, as I already said, Dr. Rob, how do you know these people did not like you? And they wanted you to know. And to that I would say, I think if you lived life long enough, especially in corporate America, you know the feeling and the vibe you get that this person or that person, just seems not to like you. As you do not get any positive vibes, from a hello or good morning, any type of greeting from them, whatsoever. Not on the elevator, not in the corridors. I mean, you know the vibe. Now, I'm the type, I speak to everybody. White, black, short, fat, gay, ugly, handsome. I want to establish, the tone, if you will. Hey, how you doing? And so as a young person at that time, that is where I began to have these quiet encounters of bad energy. When I realized that, and this is what I'm talking about, the whole power thing, I realized that if I allowed myself to feel rejected by these people who, seemed to want me to know that they didn't want to say hello or be bothered with me, if you will, if I allowed myself to feel rejected or be concerned about how people who may be unhappy with themselves, it would be an injustice to myself to concern myself with that. That's what I mean. Giving your power away to others. It's like when you start to wonder why he or she or they don't like you, you diminish yourself when you do that, because you lend yourself to, how they make you feel. And that should not matter. Okay, so let me just continue. So, as I just said, it seemed to me that, if I concern myself with this dynamic of the workplace, that would be tantamount to giving these people power over my life. And that means, people can make you feel bad about yourself. They can make you feel unhappy. And so when that happens, I'm saying that dynamic, then you allow, you give your power away. You give people the ability to affect how you feel. And I'm hoping that I'm making this clear, because that is my point. Not to give people the ability to dictate how you feel or how you think about yourself. Now, if you think about this, or worry about people who are not nice and how they, might affect you in that way, in my mind, it's just, like I said, I don't want to be redundant, but it seems like, it feels like to me, like I'm giving you the ability to control how I feel. And I want to feel good. I want to be happy. You understand? So when I say the power over your life, I'm really talking about like your joy. So, as I said earlier, in general, I speak to most people just to be pleasant, to set the tone for positive relations, and experiences for my own life. And at work, when you walk the halls and look to make eye contact with another person, another employee, just to say hello, and they seemingly and or intentionally walk by as if they never seen you before. And that creates bad energy at work, because even you, the recipient of that, now you more than likely are not going to speak, even though, let's just say they had a bad day, a bad moment at that time. They just didn't see you or feel you. But when that stuff happens, you're like, okay. And then I might say, you might have to wait till you see this 2 or 3 times. And then, you see this 2, 3, 4 times over your time at work. There's a trend there. It's really happening. And that's how I am able to arrive at that conclusion. It's not just after one event, one occasion. When this happens consistently, when you come in contact with an individual or those individuals, then you know what's happening. And I cannot even attribute this, to racism. Sometimes it is, but for the most part, this is how people treat one another at work. I've seen it. I'm an HR professional, so that I've been in the midst of that vibe. And so, if you allow this to happen, as I'm saying, then you give a part of yourself, you allow yourself to be diminished, and it's like you get small, and in your mind, you help the other person to get big, And let me just say this. The other day, I had this discussion with, one of my comrades. And he told me the same thing, that his experiences with this dynamic, that people, that they want you to know that they do not like you. And he agreed, you can feel it, especially when they seem to work hard not to give off any good vibes, even as good as a simple hello. And so I said all of this to set the framework of what I'm talking about when I say do not give people power over your life. And as I said earlier, and I'll say it again and again, when and if you get the feelings or vibe, that I'm talking about, learn to not give any credence. Credence is like credit. Don't give any credibility. Don't make it a thing. Now, you might say, Dr. Rob, you are making it a thing by even talking about it. Yes, I have made it a thing because it is a thing. Okay? And so, this bad energy, bad vibe, it's real. And people, it seems that they seek to transmit this. And you, as an individual, doing your thing at work, in church, in a club, in a frat, wherever you may be, you have to ignore these people and these feelings and focus on yourself. And that's a good way not to give these people the ability to make you feel bad because they have not recognized you or accepted you. Doggone it, be your own best friend. You feel me? As I said, focus on yourself, your job, your own purpose in this life we live. And when I say do not give your power away, I am talking about your ability to feel good, to feel any joy, to feel any happiness. It's because instead you may feel rejected or left out because of these people or a specific person. And nobody should be able to control your ability to feel good about you other than you. I am going to say that again. Nobody should be able to control your ability to feel good about you other than you. That is why you do not give that power to others. Because you are in control of your own happiness. And with that said, I'm not done yet, but I just wanted to jump in. Sometimes, you gotta, speaking of keeping it light and, spreading a good vibe and a good feeling, every now and then I like to do a bad dad joke. And I want to know what you think about this bad dad joke before we get back to the topic. So here it is. Did you know the first French fries were not cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece. What do you think? Yeah, I have to say that was a good one. I like that. The first French fries were not cooked in France. They were cooked in Greece. And that's probably not even true because, I guess depending on French fries when they were really made, was there such thing as grease, okay? Who knows? It could have been cooked in lava from a volcano or something. Okay, so continuing on with the subject, I want you to think about this. When you worry about whether or not people like you, as I said, you diminish your own self-worth and you give others the ability to make you feel good or bad about yourself. And that is what I mean. Do not give people power over your life, because in many ways, that is what you do when you allow this to happen. Then you might even, begin to be consumed by what you did or did not do to cause these people or this person not to like you. No, this is a real thing. I remember I had a girlfriend a long time ago. She said to me, nobody likes me at work. And I was like, wow, I know this might sound hard, but you should not even worry about who likes you. You got to love yourself, girl. I said, and people at work, they don't have to like you. No, they do not have to like you. What they have to do, though, there is no rule for liking one another. There's no rule for that. It would be nice. We want that. It would be nice. But there's no rule that says we have to like our boss, our co-workers. There's no rule for that. But there is a rule for respect. And so this is how you keep it. This is how you keep it level. This is how you keep it real. Because see, if instead of looking to be liked first, if we, look to earn the respect of one another, then you might find that, hey, I really like that guy, Dr. Rob. He's reliable. He's credible. His podcast is great. His books are great. Nah, I like that guy. I know I respect him. So don't worry about liking one another. Focus on respecting and liking yourself and then transmitting that to one another in the workplace. You feel me? And the crazy thing, in many of these cases where these people do not, give off that vibe that they don't like you, and they could walk right by you in the hall. You can fall in front of them. They would probably step over you. And that is because many of these people, they don't feel good about themselves. I mean, they might look good in their suits and their tight skirts or what have you. But many of these people at work, at school, at church, and or any organization where you come across these type of people, because they are everywhere, okay? And so if you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to convey a good vibe, positive energy. And so forget that. You did nothing to these people, and you know that you did nothing to these people, as I just said. And in many cases, many of these people are just not happy with themselves. And that is why, that's another reason why you do not give them power over your life, by wondering whether or not or wondering why he or she does not like you. Therefore, you can and should dismiss any negative feelings about yourself and hold on to your power. That's right, I said it, because that's what it is. It's your power. Think about that's how powerful this is, that you could feel like somebody at work does not like you because you're alone with them on the elevator, you see them in the hall, and they never speak to you. That's power. You're like, wow, why don't they like me? Probably because I'm black, yeah, or whatever. No, forget that. This is your power is what gives you the ability to feel good about you. And that is where your joy should come from. If you give that away, then you allow others to control how you feel about you, and thus you give them power over your life. And with that said, do not give away your power. It is yours. And it is the source of how we find ways to feel good about ourselves and the lives and the life we live. Remember, to give that power to others diminishes who you are and how you feel. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. And so, I'm going to leave that right here. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm finished with this topic, and I hope this was of some good service to you, because that is what I aim to do. Help you to find ways out of the foolishness that sometimes comes our way from family, friends, and foe, and even people we don't know. And on that note, I want to thank you very much for listening once again, my friend, for allowing me into your car, allowing me to ride with you on your Peloton or Unitrack, whatever exercise equipment you may be using. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully now you have a better understanding of how to negotiate this sensitive relationship, with ourselves and the people at work. Okay. Other than that, I want you to remember that love is not supposed to hurt, and life is good even when it ain't. Until we meet again, my friend, don't hurt nobody. I'll talk to you later. Peace. As we wrap up this show, I hope this topic helped you to grow. And now you know a little bit more than you knew before. If you have any questions about this topic, please email me at changeagentrtg@gmail.com. See my website, relationshipreadiness.org, to learn more about my counseling, consulting, and educational programs related to life, love, and work. Finally, in the words of the late, great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody he is traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. Until we meet again, do the right thing when nobody is looking. Peace, beloved.